McClean, and I'm here to talk about inclusive leadership in the AI era. So maybe you've heard this question, is AI going to take our jobs? Maybe it's a question that's been lingering in the back of your mind. AI is absolutely going to change the way we work. Hopefully at this stage you've used ChatGPT. Maybe it's just to set your holiday itinerary. I know I've used it for rewording some emails in a much more diplomatic and friendly manner. Maybe you've got into an argument with it and you've got deeply offended when it hasn't known to apologize. But it will impact, in my opinion, every industry in the world. AI will not change our jobs, or will not take our jobs, but it will absolutely change the way we work, and that change demands a new leadership. One that is technically literate, but deeply human. The thing about AI is it cannot replace human interaction. We as humans have the ability to read a room, to express empathy, to lead with integrity. AI, what I'm saying is AI lacks consciousness. It has no human emotion. Good leadership is grounded in values like integrity, vision, adaptability, and sometimes kindness. I've been leading and scaling businesses for a little over a decade. Now, I have a confession to make. I have never written a line of code. In fact, I don't even have a technical background. Now, you might be wondering why I've ended up leading tech teams, and sometimes I question it too. But the thing is, my superpower is really in the people. I love leading people. I love culture, and I love to do that in an inclusive way. And right now, AI needs to remember to be inclusive. Inclusive leadership is not a buzzword. It's a business-critical skill set in the time of an AI era. I went to an event last year. It was a small event, and a blind man stood up and told a story, a simple but powerful story about bank cards. He basically said he received his new bank card, and unlike the one here shown on the screen, there was no longer embossed numbers. All of a sudden, this sleek, modern, maybe elegant new bank card was problematic for him. He could no longer tell the card numbers on his bank card. He could no longer tell the difference between his bank card and some store cards he had. This is what happens when products are designed with one perspective, and it's what happens when people forget to ask who is not in the room. Well, the same goes for AI and how we're building it. If we do not build it with this in mind, we are risking ourselves to have built AI with bias and exclusion at scale. Stanford Institute of Human-centric AI released a report in 2023, and they claimed that predominantly AI is being built by males. They also suggested that AI is being built in small geographical and institutional hubs around the globe. In the same year of 2023, the World Economic Forum released their Global Gender Report, and it showcased that 22% of AI professionals were women. Now, this is not a criticism of those individuals, not at all, but it does highlight that limitation in perspective. In April 2025, Virginia Weekly Lawyers released a report on a deaf and Indigenous woman. This woman had applied into a job or promotion through this AI-powered tool. Now, she spoke with a deaf English accent, and she used American Sign Language. The platform was built to understand and interpret what the candidates were saying, and it failed her. She didn't get the promotion, and the feedback was, work on your communication. This is what happens when products are built without accessibility and inclusion. And again, if we do this for everybody, and we forget to build AI, thinking about the people not in the room, we're at a real risk. IBM has released a statement that when biased AI makes decisions, it can damage people, trust, and brand reputation. And that is so true. Inclusive leadership is about thinking about the people not in the room. It's about thinking about building and scaling products, teams, and technical development solutions for those people that just aren't your average user. And that's what's important here. My own personal story is, as being a regional head of business, you have to grow the business, scale the business, but also you're developing a culture with your people. Now, when you do that, you need somewhere to house them. I set in this mission to get a lovely, shiny, brand new permanent office. And to do this, I knew that I wanted to have something that was a blank canvas, because what was super important to me was inclusion. See, at the time, I have 50 employees working for me, 17 of which came from different nationalities. That was by design. But also, we had those employees that were felt safe enough to say, I'm neurodivergent. And when we created that atmosphere and we created the culture, we seen massive advances in what was going on across the teams. We also allowed them to be on the journey with us. Who's not in the room was one of the questions. Now, I'm passionate about inclusivity, but I do not have all the answers. And I think great leaders have to know when to bring other experts into the room. So we got a sound acoustic person that would come in and tell us how sound travels through an office. We went and met a group of wheelchair users. We brought neurodivergent experts into the room and we asked them, what do we need to do here? And what the result was not just different heights of sinks throughout the office. We learned that you don't put coffee machines in the middle of the floors because it can lead to sensory overload. The acoustic tiles on the ceilings were massively important for how sound didn't travel. We had a library room at the back of the office so that people that needed to work in complete silence had an area to do so. We knew that people needed reserved desks because they did not want to come in and choose a desk. That would be triggering to them. And we catered for wheelchairs. Forget the height-adjusted desk, which of course we had. Something that dawned on me, and someone said to me, make sure our kitchenware is at the right level. I wouldn't have thought about that. So I think it's important to know what your own limitations are, because we all have bias. But also, I've future-proofed that business. So if a wheelchair user came in, I would like to think that they thought, wow, this person has thought of me. Not just in the kitchenware, but also where the whiteboards are placed, or the different areas in the office that is for brainstorming or teamwork, not your individual workstation. That's what smart businesses do. They build for the future, and AI needs to come on the journey with us. Right now, we're seeing massive rollbacks in DEI. We're seeing roles being limited and budgets being cut. That is just, it angers me. It's not the smart thing to do. You see, a business that thinks about inclusivity is going to make far better profits than those that don't. Smart leaders think about the customers they don't have yet, and the people who aren't in the room is key to that. Don't forget, there's millions of people who are not digitally active. Now, that sounds strange for someone like me and you, who is maybe plugged in all the time. I know I'm guilty of that. But there are millions of people who are not digital users. They don't have the skills, and they aren't even access to the internet. So if we don't consider them, we are building future now. We are building tech now that will do for the next decade and beyond. And we're going to leave behind entire populations. So what does it mean to be a good leader in this AI era? Well, in my humble opinion, it means knowing technology enough to question it. Investing in tools that augment but do not replace human interaction and decision-making. And ask the question, who is not in the room? Who is this product being built for, and who does it exclude? Ask, what is the data sets? The data sets are so important. If the majority of males from geographical locations in the world are building AI, then they're only thinking in the same way. So we don't have that diversity at scale. I think the way to get ahead is if we bring diverse minds into the fold, if we really build technology that serves everybody, then we don't leave populations behind. And we don't just survive this AI era, in fact, we lead it. Thank you.